just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating.
What up? Dude, it's like 95 degrees in here. How are we doing? Freedom.
Freedom.
Dude, entropy, let's go. You depend. You depend. So you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll have to clean up the mess. Misdirection. No, I'm through with you. Your hoops and my obsessions, always jumping through.
I'm so
I'm not worthy.
I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention.
Let's go. You never will. Dude, how we doing, people?
I will overanalyze and fall victim. But then I'm lower.
Miami, let's go.
I'm still tangled. I'm not worried. 'Cause I am caught up in
This reflection, pay attention. You never will. So you always will. Again, I help you clean up the mess. Dude, how we doing? Yeah, I wonder if you ever did like I did.
I wonder if you ever did, yeah. I wonder if you ever did like I did.
Let's go.
Just wanna be
Free, yeah. So you know what's funny? I should tell you the story of why that band was called Full Blown Red. All right. So that band we were a three-piece. Me, I sang and played guitar, and then there was a bass player and there was a drummer. And the bass player and the drummer were both from fucking small town Georgia. Okay? And so they were pretty redneck. All right. And now I was definitely the most metrosexual of the bunch, but I did grow up in small town Wisconsin. So I've got some redneck blood in me. So the reason why that band got called Full Blown Red was in the early stages when we got together before we had a band name, we drank. I mean, we drank a lot. But whenever we would go out and get drunk, especially the two guys from Georgia, they would get pretty redneck when they would get drunk. And so I was like, dude, you guys are getting red. You are like full blown right now, right? So it was about full blown redneck was what would happen when they would get drunk. So the band ended up being called Full Blown Red. That's where the fucking name came from, right? It was just, you know, how those guys got when they were drunk. Isn't that wild? Dude, it's funny. I mean, coming up with band names is funny, right? Used to play in a band? Yeah, I mean, I believe there's some videos of the Wanteds, right? From like public access TV or something in Utah, right? I have videotapes of like a lot of shit. And then there's a documentary about me that shows a bunch of me playing and has some old footage of band stuff as well. So I've got a little bit like kicking around. This was pre-internet though. This was all, you know what I mean? You lived in Ogden? Nice. Yeah, we did a show in Park City. Every time we would go through Utah, there was a public access TV station in Park City that used to do like profiles on bands. Let's go. All right, dude. Dude, we got tonight's, this afternoon's video or whatever is banging, bro. We got a 1 to 10 burning up the airwaves. So yeah, dude, this is crazy. Today was fucking pretty wild, right? You know what I mean? I mean, thinking about today, like, what a fucking crazy day, bro. Okay, with the Ghislaine Maxwell shit, something's got to give. I mean, so I feel like today obviously is a starter on that idea. Like, I don't think you're wrong, Mark, when you say something's got to give. Because obviously today, like, there was a tweet by 𝗏𝗏 that I felt like sort of hit it close to home, because obviously, you know, he's the guy who's out there watching all this Trump shit. But I don't know if you saw the 𝗏𝗏 tweet, but there was a tweet that 𝗏𝗏 tweeted that I feel like is in line with what Mark said there, where 𝗏𝗏 summed it up and said right here, okay, he said that was one of the most batshit press conferences of Trump's public life. Now, this is saying something, because Trump has had some batshot fucking experiences, right? He said he brandished a photo of Putin. He promised to deploy the U.S. military to occupy Chicago, New York, and San Francisco, right? And a sane country would be moving toward impeachment and removal right now. And dude, when you say something's got to give, I feel like it may come to a head with Chicago, right? Because so Trump is doing his little whatever fascism game with DC because he's allowed to. He's got a bunch of fucking National Guard in there, whatever. They're driving tanks around DC, which is stupid and ridiculous. It's not a long-term solution to anything. It's a bunch of hand jive. Nobody wants to walk around and see fucking camouflaged military people in armored cars driving through their streets. Okay, that doesn't make anyone feel safe. Makes people feel like we're living in a fucking, right, in Russia or North Korea or some shit. But here's the deal. Now Trump is like starting to mouth off and say that he's going to occupy cities he doesn't have jurisdiction over. Okay, the executive branch of the government does have jurisdiction over DC. He can send the fucking National Guard in there all day long in DC because it's essentially his city, right? They don't have their own, you know what I mean? They're under his jurisdiction because they're not an actual fucking state, right? But Chicago is different. Donald Trump has no jurisdiction in Chicago. Donald Trump has no say. He can't just occupy Chicago on a whim. I mean, and I don't feel like 𝗍𝗍𝗏 is going to allow that. Like, I feel like we're going to have a standoff here. We're going to have something like that, where like the Illinois National Guard says to Trump's people, you're not coming into our state, right? You know what I mean? And do I believe Trump is dying? Trump looks like shit. Okay, he does. He looks like he's going to be dead soon. Please, do you see my tweet? Dude, you see my tweet right here, dude? Here it is, boss. Right? It's a great tweet. This is my new religion. Look at that. Oh, shit. That's a shirt I just had made. It'll be here in a week. Be here in 10 days. Is he dead yet? Dude, let's go. Yeah, I saw you say, Ghislaine, email Jeffrey where you got that information. Give me a link. Put a link in chat. I just ordered this today, boss. Where can you buy that? I'm just having it made. Right? Isn't that amazing? Is he dead yet? Dude, we love to see it. Let's go. Dude, isn't that great? You'll be seeing me wear it soon. We're going to be rocking that fucker. But yeah, man. So something, dude, this shit is crazy. Right? And then here's another woman that said Trump is mentally ill and needs treatment. I say this as a mental health professional who is concerned about a person who appears to be a danger, if not to himself, because he is so closely watched, then to others. Right? Dude, trademark it? Nah, you can't trademark it. You can't really trademark a phrase like that. You don't get how it hasn't happened yet? Yeah, so dude, something is going on, bro. Dude, look at this shit. This is his hand today, okay? This is his hand today, okay? There's something going on, though. Serious, yeah, but so, Gonzalez, it doesn't matter. People have the best healthcare in the world. That doesn't mean they fucking live any longer necessarily. You know what I mean? I mean, he's degenerating fast. Something is seriously going on with him. Okay? It is. Dude, he's obviously had a significant number of IV installations. By the way, guys, if you see me, I have a bunch of cupping marks. Okay? I had a fucking an amazing massage appointment the other day. Had to remove all this schmutz from my fucking body. So in case you wonder what that is, I have significant cupping marks from my session of body work yesterday. Let's go. Yeah. So, I mean, he's got obviously some IV shit is going on. Okay. And then look at his other hands though, right? His hands are swollen. His ankles are swollen. He's had coordination issues. The heaven talk was like yesterday or a day or two ago. Yeah, he's had some weird shit with his shoulders and his body movement, dragging a leg. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to die necessarily anytime soon, but I have told you, I don't think he's living through this I don't think he's living through this term for sure, right? But he's definitely having some significant health issues, okay? Something is going on. And I've noticed, guys, a degeneration beyond just the physical, okay? Where there's been a mental degeneration and a fucking a sluggishness, a low energy that's very non-Trumpy. I mean, he used to have this sort of vivacious energy, and it's gone, dude. It's like not there at all. Yeah, dude. He is very ill health. I mean, look at him. Look at him here.
For another reason, I said to her 2 weeks ago, it's terrible. I want to thank 𝗙ście for another reason. I said to her 2 weeks ago, I said, 𝗙ście, do me a favor. I built hundreds of miles of wall. I built the same wall that the Border Patrol asked me to build. It wasn't my first choice. I wanted to do concrete plank and everything nice, but you wouldn't have been able to see through it. So I had Border Patrol in, and they tested everything else. And we gave them steel wall, high-grade steel, very hard to cut. Then we gave inside that is 9,000-pound concrete, which is a very tough concrete. Inside that is rebar, a big, fat piece of rebar. So you have
there's
all different
rebar in a fence. Yeah, that's real. No other fence has rebar in it. No other giant fence. Dude, what is he, bro? Knows more about grass? Dude, yeah, okay,
materials
Grandpa.
that are very hard to cut, and you need different instruments to cut each one. And I said, 𝗙ście, we got to get a coat of paint on it. And I didn't know she was listening, but I said, we got to get a coat of paint. And
we got to get a coat of paint on it. We got to get a coat of paint. Dude, what the fuck, bro? Like, what is going on here?
It should be black, because black makes the steel very hot.
Yeah, black makes the steel very hot, except at night and during the winter and when people wear gloves. Right.
Untouchable. You could fry an egg on it.
Oh, yeah.
And if you got a good black flat paint, it would look beautiful. It will preserve it from rust. And that was it. And I gave it to her along with 30 other things. And she's done such a good job on the border with Tom Homan and the group. Tom Homan's a fantastic guy, what the job he does and the way they work together. So I turned on last night and I see 𝗙sty's painting the wall. And it looked beautiful, by the way, when that paint went over there.
And it's hot.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful hot wall, right? Dude, yeah, that's about the only thing black he's ever been a fan of. I mean, let's be honest. Dude, what are we doing, bro? So yeah, he does not look good. Okay? He does not look good. Holy shit. Dude, here we go. This is the shit though. This is the talk that is crazy where something's going to happen, guys. Okay? But here he goes.
And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do if we have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this. And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please.
Dude, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Dude, he's wearing a Trump was right about everything hat. He looks like he's about to drop fucking dead, talking about sending the regular duty military to take over an American city. Like, what the fuck, bro? 𝗙𝗎𝗪𝗪, if you're listening, bro, you need to fucking put up a fight. None of these goons allowed in your fucking city, bro. Dude, I'm serious. I want a war with these motherfuckers, bro. I'm fucking dead serious, dude. Fuck you, Trump. You try to send your military into Portland, dude, we're going to burn that shit to the ground.
I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with. And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they're, they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left, and they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying.
Dude, like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? Look at this, guys. What kind of laughing stock are we? Right? This is the president of the United States wearing this goofy ass Trump was right about everything hat, talking about sending the military in to take over cities because he did great with the black vote. Like, dude, he didn't do well with the black vote, bro. Well, who is he fucking kidding? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Where is the pine box? Pine box, pine box, pine box, pine box, pine box. Dude, holy shit. Right? Did you hear about the rain? No. Fucking block you? No. What are you talking about? You can see your fucking messages on screen. What do you mean block you? What you talking about? Right? Pine box. Right? Yeah, what are you doing? You see your shit on the screen. Come on now. Let's go. Pine box. Dude, I'm laying into woke grandma. Let's go. Come on, woke grandma. Let's get a pine box for the crowd. Pine box. Dude, what are we doing? This is so ridiculous. Like, how are we living in America right now? How are we living in America where the president is talking about sending in the military to take over cities and like much of the country is not bothered by that? They're like cheering it. What happened to us? When did we go from like America the free to the guy wearing a fucking I'm right about everything hat, thinking he can just take over cities with the military? Dude, yeah, no, the Venezuela shit is crazy too, man. You can now? Let's go. All right. No, you know what it is, though, woke grandma? You got me, though. You know what it is? I didn't have it on live chat. I had it on that, it was on that stupid top chat thing. So I bet a bunch of your messages weren't showing up because it was the fucking, I forgot to do the chat thing. So you're not crazy, woke grandma. You got me. I was actually wrong, right? There it is. It's that live chat, top chat, stupid thing. Ah. Dude, I had it on the woke chat. And now we're on the non-woke chat. Dude, how are we, guys? You know what I'm saying? How are we, like, right? How are we fucking, you know, how are we stomaching this? You know what I mean? I honestly, guys, I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be happy if, you know, Barack Obama was talking about sending in the fucking military to, like, take control of Mobile, Alabama. You know, I mean, like, there was a time during the civil rights movement when they did have to send in the National Guard, when, like, the Ku Klux Klan and shit were, like, they were going to prevent black people from going into schools, and there were, you know, threats against, you know, as segregation ended. And so you sent in the National Guard to sort of protect the people that were being desegregated, right? Because there was, like, some armed resistance, and they were, like, blowing up churches and fucking all kinds of crazy shit. But, like, nothing's going on in these cities. They're just regular, you know what I mean? And the thing about like fucking Chicago is crime is way down in Chicago. They still have crime, don't get me wrong, right? But they don't have as much crime as, you know, Columbus, Ohio, or, you know, Monroe, Louisiana, New Orleans. There's, like, many cities, right? He's just targeting blue state cities, you know, because they don't want to go along with his fucking immigration bullshit. You know? Dude, he does need to be, like, paraded. Yeah, no, it's crazy, right? It's crazy, like the what's going on now, what we're normalizing. And I mean, I hope the media, I haven't watched any mainstream media, but I hope the media is, you know, talking about this. I'm a little surprised, though, that the right wingers are cheering this on. I mean, it's a little weird, isn't it? They literally freaked out when we had mask mandates, but they're okay with the governor, or they're okay with the president sending the military, saying he's going to take over a city. Like, how is that okay? Dude, but 𝗏𝗏, I can't imagine 𝗏𝗏's going to fucking take too kindly to this. You know? You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to Don't Tread on Me? Dude, that shit is crazy. Dude, this is wild too. Watch this guy. Watch this guy. And ask yourself, why is he talking to the president like the president is a 2-year-old? Okay, you ready? Watch this. This clip is insane.
Only the FIFA president, presidents of countries, and then those who win can touch it, because it's for winners only. And since you are a winner, of course you can as well touch it. It's pretty heavy. Yeah. It's the winner trophy. The last one who lifted that is Lionel Messi of Argentina. And here it is in the Oval Office in the White House.
Can I keep it?
For you? Well, you can
We're not
after
giving
the
it
World
back.
Cup.
We're not giving it back. That's serious.
It fits well.
That goes very well on the wall right over there. We'll put it right below the A.
Yeah, you're such a good boy. Good boy, Trumpy. Oh, good boy, Trumpy. Hold the trophy. Can I keep it, Daddy? Dude, what a fucking ding, bro.
It fits well here, I
That's
think.
beautiful, yeah.
You can keep it until we have to give it to the next winner.
That's fine. That's a beautiful piece of gold, I will say.
Only.
Dude, what the hell, bro? Jesus. Yeah, no, Sweater, I heard the presser was nuts. Dude, something's going on, though. Homie is... Something is going on. Yeah, dude, I can't imagine the founding fathers would be excited about this. Oh, right. Prices are going up. They bought 10% of, like, they forced Intel to give them 10%. So now the government is owning stakes in 2 major companies, which is like, oh shit, I didn't know that was allowed, right? Oh fuck, bro. What are we doing, boss? Bro.
And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending.
Dude, he's like going to sign a picture for Vladimir Putin. He said he's been respectful of our country. He literally just blew up some American shit in Ukraine like a day ago.
You know what happens? We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay.
Dude, what the fuck, bro? It's like... He bombed a factory, an American factory in Ukraine yesterday. Okay, there he is. There's our guy holding up a picture of him and Vladimir Putin. He says he's going to sign it. Maybe Putin's coming for the World Cup. Putin literally bombed an American factory yesterday. Right? He was going to end the war. Dude, what the fuck are we doing, bro? How? Who's cheering this? Pine Box. Pine Box. Dude, yeah, no, there was like no response. I mean, let's see if we let's see if we can find the clip. I think somebody did ask him about it. I thought somebody had asked him a question. Maybe I'm dreaming. But there it is, right? He sent missiles 700 miles to destroy a fucking American factory targeted in Ukraine. Nothing from Trump. Okay? It was in the city of 𝗪𝗪𝗪, right? 600 workers inside, 15 people injured. It's a Texas-based electronics factory. And, right? Flex, an active member of the American Chamber of Commerce, hit by fucking Russian missiles.
So you can still see the smoke the burning of this American investment here in Western Ukraine. We are very close to the border with the EU.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? All right. Dude, and this is like near the EU, okay? And fucking Trump what is Trump doing? He's holding up a picture of Putin, says maybe he's going to come vacation during the World Cup. And the American government, Republicans are like tight-lipped about this. Now, the other thing we should add is him, like the government taking an ownership stake of U.S. Steel and now Intel. China does that. Okay, yes. Yes, you have the clip. Okay, thank you, Natalie. Let me find that clip. Here we go. There it is.
I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay of me, but nice of him. So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay?
Mr. President, on
yes.
that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to
I
that?
told him I'm not happy about it. And I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I said I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all.
So what did he say? He said he solved 7 wars, and before, like he was in office, or before they became wars, 3 pre-wars? 10 wars? Dude, this guy's fucking mental! What the fuck, bro? Dude, 9 iron! Pre-wars? Goddamn, motherfucker! How? Dude, I want an army of fucking 9 irons. Like, goddamn, Jesus Christ, can this motherfucker die already? For the love of God. He's bloated. He's got fucking, I don't know, fucking calamine lotion all over his goddamn hands for the, please, pine box. Jesus Christ, bro. 3 wars. He looks terrible. 3 wars, pre-wars. So now there's 10 wars. Russia blows up an American factory. How you feel? Oh, I'm not happy about it. But I stopped 10 wars, 7 wars, and 3 pre-wars. Dude, V-Sneed, let's go. Pine boxes. Pine boxes. I want pine boxes filled with Bud Light. And fucking Jesus Christ. What are we, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? Like, I don't know if we're getting out of this alive, guys. I honestly don't. I was just watching Better Call Saul, and like, we may be getting the leg breaks, right? The broken legs. We may not get out of this unscathed. All right, dude. That is some crazy shit. Okay, that is crazy shit. And basically no fucking comment, right? Russia can blow up American factories now. And he's like, yep, we got to give him Ukraine. Dude. What are we doing, bro? Oh my God. And then we have, like, they raided John Bolton's house. I don't really care about the John Bolton raid. Is the 2nd time this term? Dude, yeah, he is so gutless. Yeah, no, I did see the clip about the Chicago black women. We already watched that one. Where he said all the African American women are telling him, please come to Chicago. Yeah, there's something that never happened. Holy shit, bro. Jesus. See, I mean, it's like we're just in free fall right now. You know? You know what I mean? I mean, we are in free fall and we don't know where we're gonna end. Yeah, no, the John Bolton thing is crazy because what's crazy about this is that, right, is there to my knowledge, there's no charges. Like Bolton was part of his cabinet. And I don't know what they're charging him for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's just a targeted attack. He's trying to raid people who he feels allowed him to get raided for the classified documents and other things. I mean, they're going after everybody who is critical or who he feels like sold him out. Okay? Yeah, no, I know. They're saying Bolton had classified documents, right? Here's what they say. Check it out.
This might have nothing to do with classified documents or about classified intelligence that Bolton printed in his book. Trump Justice Insider Mike Davis says Democrats, rhinos, and reporters who think this raid on John Bolton is about his book will be very embarrassed when the search warrant becomes public. Primetime's hearing Bolton was making a lot of money from overseas and may have been trafficking in intelligence. That wouldn't be putting America first. Constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley, who we just heard from, says Bolton...
Jonathan Turley's in on this.
...could be looking at up to 20 years in prison.
Sure.
So Bolton should take his own advice and take a big, beautiful, deep breath.
I think it's important that everybody take a deep breath here. This is a very serious matter, and it would be better if...
Yeah. So, dude, I mean, all right, we'll see you in court, I suppose. We're going to let the jury decide. I mean, will he be charged? I don't think he's going to be charged, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, obviously it was the day the Epstein stuff comes out. And, right? And so he says, like, you know, oh, trafficking in intelligence. But yeah, all right, wait till you see the search warrant. But all these guys are Trump ass kissers. Like the dude they mentioned there, Mike Davis. You know who Mike Davis is, right? This guy is one of the biggest knob polishing fucking weirdos, right? This clown is their talk guy, right? He is like, this guy is nothing but a fucking MAGA troll, okay? And he's the one saying, oh, trafficking in intelligence. But it's like, sure, boss. Sure, that's it. Right? I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm not buying it. Okay? Dude, yeah. I mean, but we have a significant propaganda machine happening, though, guys. Okay? What's it going to take to stop? Yeah, see, I don't know. That's what I wonder, Layla, because this is sort of this is kind of like the, I don't know, the thing, the apex of this thing is going to be like, well, what's going to happen here? Because obviously the continued shakedown of his political opponents, I don't believe they're going to have enough evidence to actually charge any of these people with anything. So they're going to like shake down and what have you. I feel like, you know, Trump trying to send the military into Chicago or New York City is going to be a big, there at some point there's got to be a standoff where like a state or a group of people say, you know what, we're not fucking bending over for you. Fuck you. And then it's like Trump's going to have the option to give the order to shoot. And he's going to have to start firing and actually attack his own people, or he's going to have to stand down. But I feel like at some point, we're going to have a standoff like that. You know? You know what I mean? General strike. Dude, Matt, you may be right. You need to organize that shit. Dude, get on that, bro. Fucking organize that shit. Organize the general strike. I back it. Organize it. We need an organizer. Dude, no sex for Republicans? Dude, Republicans don't even have sex. That's part of the reason why they're so fucking uptight, bro. But yeah, so this came, though, on the heels, right, of, right? Yeah, this is wild. Dude, Tony Michaels, well said there, buddy. Right? Because, of course, on the same day that they're talking about, you know, no one is above the law. Well, how did this Israeli guy get back to Israel after bringing a condom to meet a 15-year-old? Right? Whoops. Whoopsie. Dude, yeah, there's one way out for Trump. That's in a pine box. That's the way out, boss. Holy shit. Dude. Yeah, how'd this guy get out? Dude, how'd this guy get back to Israel? Dude, what the fuck are we doing? Hold on, let's do a goal. Let's do a dance party goal. We may need to dance our way out of this. Let's go. There it is. Oh, let's go. Good morning. Dude, I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous because like, here's why I'm nervous. Okay? Why I'm nervous is because I wonder, like, who's gonna fucking take a stand? How are we gonna take a stand? Right? That's why I'm nervous. How are we gonna take a stand? Or are we gonna wake up and pretty soon there's just tanks rolling down the streets of every American city, and you can't go outside anymore without armed military patrolling the fucking sidewalks? And right? And then, you know, I go to the store and a fucking tomato is $15, and then you turn on the news at night and they say we've never seen lower prices. Right? Like, the economy is booming. And meanwhile, you know, dude, what's up, Chris? Chillin', boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we live in one of those, right? We live in one of those worlds where what they tell you is not what's happening, because that's what happens in dictatorships, guys. Is one of the core components is that cognitive dissonance. Dude, Blaze, let's go, right? There's a cognitive dissonance where the leader comes out and tells you, we've never done better. And you go outside and you're like, wow, it's horrible right now. It's like terrible. The world is inhospitable and I'm poor and broke. And yet the government's like telling me that everything is perfect, right? Yeah, homeless camps are being, right? You're going to see like trucks driving by with a bunch of immigrants packed in the back, all chained up and shit. Ooh. Dude, it's a little nerve-wracking, guys, isn't it? It's because I wonder who's going to stand up, right? We got to see who's going to stand up. It better be Pritzker, okay? I feel like Mamdani would also make a stand, right? But Pritzker needs to make a stand, bro. If he tries this sending the military to Chicago shit. Like, come on, man. I mean, dude. Someone other than Newsom? Dude, Newsom, don't count Newsom out. Let's go, baby. Give you the ability to raid my stream? I mean, I think you should be able to raid, right? I don't even know where that shit is. I don't even know how to, like, where the raid controls are in the stream, right? I don't know. I have no idea how raids are, right? Show us your raids. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like pretty new to YouTube, right? Pritzker is the billionaire, yeah. Newsom is an elitist. Middle America will not vote for him. Well, dude, I mean, dude, I think Middle America would vote for Gavin Newsom, right? I mean, he's not any more elitist than Donald Trump is. I mean, the guy had a golden toilet, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, come on. Yeah, dude. Like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, come here, dude. Hold on. Let me just show you, dude. Look at this shit. Don't even talk to me about elitists, right? What the fuck is this, bro? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Woke grandma, let's go. Right? Dude, what are we living in? What, you know? What the fuck is this, bro? Dude, Pine Box dance party. Pine Box. Let's go. Dude, for all the people who are donating, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Dude, let's go. Let's go. One more. Oh, shit. Later, Trumpy! Let's go. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see who wins the primary. But I think, you know, I mean, dude, here's the deal, guys. You ready? You ready for this? I'm going to go out and say this. If America votes for more Palantir fascism and Peter Thiel's guy over a Democratic candidate, then maybe this country needs to just burn and fall. And, you know, I mean, if we're going to be that stupid, where, again, like, we should have never voted for Trump, but, like, we literally, a whole bunch of people chose the fascist, rapist, fucking sex predator, criminal insurrectionist over, like, somebody who was not that. No matter whether you think Kamala was good, bad, or the other, she was not any of that horrible shit. And so, like, dude, America, it may just be our time to end, right? The American empire, it might be our time to end. And we just end up being a trashed third world nation that gets picked apart by China and other fucking world superpowers, right? Because the American people are too fucking dumb to do anything better. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Right? It may just be that America, it's time for Rome to fall. I mean, Rome had to fall, right? And America had to fall too. Now is as good a time as ever, right? Like, bro, what are we doing, boss? You know what I mean? I mean, we're not making good decisions, guys. Okay? We're not making good decisions. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, obviously, if we win the House, it all changes. We have to win the House next year, okay? If we don't win the House next year, we're going to be fucked. Now they know this too, okay? There's a reason why Texas is gerrymandering their maps. There's a reason why they're talking to Kentucky and Indiana and other red states about gerrymandering their maps. Because they know if they lose the House, they are cooked, okay? They are cooked. And so, yeah, the blue states need to fix their shit. And then we got to come out in droves. You know what I'm saying? We got to come out in droves. Dude, crazy. Fucking crazy what's going on. I've never seen so much open, like, cheating and open, like, scoundrelly. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen it. It is definitely unprecedented, right? It is definitely unprecedented. We've never like I've never seen anything, guys. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen like smear campaigns, you know what I'm saying? Like the Swift boating. I have definitely seen, you know, people pull out some bullshit to sort of like hijack public opinion and stuff. but I have not actually seen like state governments sort of like changing how they do things just to like, you know, acquiesce and provide a benefit to a president. I've never seen that before. We've definitely never seen that. Not in my lifetime. That is brand new. And now what's crazy about this though, guys, is we have to look at this beyond sort of just even the gerrymandering battle. But think about this, guys. So well, Matt, that's not actually true because there was a civil war. And so we've actually seen things in people's lifetimes that were much worse, right? During the Civil War when there was a secession and there were hundreds of thousands of people dying. There's definitely been worse shit than what we're going through now. And the civil rights moment in the 60s, I believe, was worse than what we're going through now. People were fucking dying. You know what I mean? Like people who were helping black people were getting murdered and bombs were going off in churches and shit. So in the 60s, it was worse. And they fucking executed a president and fucking a civil rights leader and Bobby Kennedy, right? In a span of like 5 years, they executed 3 huge political names and they were bombing churches. So we've definitely had it worse, right? Ohio State, yes. It was Kent State, actually. D.B. Golding was where the National Guard shot those students. That was Kent State in Ohio, but Kent State. But you know what I mean? So I feel like we've had it worse. But guys, forget all this for a second and just think about the ramifications of this battle, okay? Because think about this, guys. Think about this. Think about if they gerrymander all the red states so there's no blue districts. And if we gerrymander all the blue states so there's no red districts, what that means, guys, is all the blue voters in the red states have no say. And all the red voters in the blue states have no say. So like, dude, Talia, let's go. So we're like setting up this world where everybody who's not the color of the state has lost all their say. And we're doing that across the whole country. That's going to be like, we're going to create a world where there's so much resentment and so much hatred and disenchantment and like misery on a day-to-day basis. Like if that's going to be the basic, like that's going to be the reality in every state, that sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of energy, I don't feel like that kind of energy, you know what I mean? I don't feel like that kind of energy is going to be a net positive, you know what I mean? And that kind of makes me a little bit sad, right? You know what I'm saying? That kind of fucking makes me a little bit sad. You know, it does. It makes me a little bit sad that that's where we're headed, right? That's ultimately what they want to do, you know? And I mean, we could get rid of gerrymandering, but see, guys, the gerrymandering argument isn't even about the House of Representatives. Like, I don't know if you guys realize this, but the gerrymandering, like the reason why the Republicans won't end gerrymandering is because they have used it in states. Okay, if you go to Wisconsin and the state House and the state Senate in Wisconsin is 2/3 Republican, but the state is like 52% Democrat, okay? Because they gerrymandered all the state districts. And they've done that in all the red states. Texas was gerrymandered. Ohio, the state is, right? I'm not talking the House of Representatives. I'm talking their state legislatures. That's what the Republicans have been doing since the 90s. Is they gerrymandered the state legislatures so these Republicans have like a massive amount of control on the state level in states that are 50-50. And so like, dude, yeah, it's crazy. Like So the Republicans don't want to end gerrymandering because they would lose all of that state like power. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's coming, guys. I don't know what's coming. It's a little brutal though, dude. Today's one of those days where you're like, fuck, bro. Right? Like, what are we going to do? You know? Because, I mean, it is good. It's good that California is sending that thing to the ballot in November. But now we're going to start a battle. And we're going to start a battle with fucking, right? We're going to start a battle with nobody, where nobody who's a different color than their state has any voting power anywhere, right? You know, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. Establishment Democrats don't want to end gerrymandering. Dude, they would be fine ending gerrymandering. They actually put it up for a vote. I think they would. I think establishment Democrats would be fine ending gerrymandering. If we ended gerrymandering, there would be a lot more blue than red, guys. That's facts. If you end gerrymandering, if you look at the numbers, if gerrymandering goes away, there's way more blue than red. Nationwide, if there's a nationwide end of gerrymandering, the Republicans would be so fucked. Are you kidding me? There would be a huge advantage, right? Like all, you know what I'm saying? There would be a massive advantage. Dude, there's no way. I know, but the thing about it is though, Hermaine, is the Democrats have been using gerrymandering to prevent the Republicans from taking undue sets of power. Okay, because the Republicans have done it so badly in particularly in state governments. I'm saying if you end all gerrymandering, the Republicans will have a significant advantage nationwide at every level. Okay, at every fucking level. And that's why when Democrats proposed it, not a single Republican voted for it. You know what I mean? They have to gerrymander. The Democrats have had to prevent like giving the Republicans an unfair advantage. And on the state level, they've been just completely screwed, right? You know what I'm saying? The states, like Wisconsin is a classic example, okay? Wisconsin is 52% Democrat, 48% Republican, but their state legislature is 67% Republican, 33% Democrat. And there's a lot of states that are similar to that. Right? It's fucked up. Oh, shit. Let's go. All right. Yeah. And no, there's room for gerrymandering in Washington, in Oregon, in California, in New York. I feel like Illinois could probably squeeze a little bit more out. There's other places where they can do it for sure. You know what I'm saying? Right? But dude, borrow bad, let's go. But it's just a little more complicated. You know what I'm saying? Like New York, I don't think can do it right away. They can't do it before 2026. They can do it before 2028. But yeah, man. But again, though, I mean, in theory, right? In theory, you don't think they have much room in Pennsylvania? No, Pennsylvania certainly could do it. I don't know if they would do it, but I feel like Pennsylvania could do it. Wisconsin could do it. Wisconsin could easily pick up 3 or 4 seats. Easy, right? Easy peasy, right? I don't know if they can and will, right? That's the question, is if they can and they will, right? That's what's a little harder with the blue states. You know what I'm saying? It's a little harder because some blue states have laws, and then also blue states are definitely going to be more reluctant to engage in like that type of fascist behavior. But I think something to notice is the difference in the two parties, okay? Because the California is putting it up to a ballot measure for the people to vote on it, right? And Texas had their police lock state representatives in the state house to get that shit passed. So there is a difference in the parties. You know what I mean? Is the California's voting on it to combat what Texas is doing. Texas is sending the police in to take their representatives hostage. Oh shit, dude. What are we doing, bro? Oh Lord. But yeah, man. I mean, I just, for me, guys, I guess for me, guys, I feel bad, okay? For me, I feel bad about, like, the after effects of this shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? And so yes, the Wisconsin's Supreme Court has shifted, so Wisconsin will be getting new maps. They absolutely will. I don't know if they'll be getting them in time for 2026 or 2028, but that was what that whole Supreme Court battle was about. But like for me, I guess I just feel bad at the state of the country after this. You know what I mean? That's why I feel bad about this is like we're going to do this battle and we're going to do all this shit to like eye for an eye, battling over, 2026. But like, even after all this happens, like we're not going to be any better off than we are today. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing that's really bothersome is like, I don't see us making any moves that are going to lead us to not being a fucking dumpster fire, right? Like, even if we gerrymander the shit and we win it, we take back the House, we win the presidency in 2028, all the MAGA people are going to be like super teed, right? You know what I mean? Like that's, it is like, we definitely have some internal strife that is not going away anytime soon. I feel like Trump dying is like, could be the best thing. That's really what we need. We need Trump to die. Okay. Are you listening? If there is a God, you need to hear this. We need Trump dead, right? That's the start. Okay. We need somebody that will like end the division, bro. Pine Box. Dude, it starts with the Pine Box. Let's go. Yeah, no, they have not left us with the choice, dude. But I think we should really, I'll be honest, guys. I think instead of playing this gerrymandering battle and the government threatening to send in the military to our cities, I think we need to start talking seriously about secession, about two United States, right? You know what I'm saying? Like an America and whatever, break the country. Like, I think we need to have serious talks about the national divorce, because I don't think like gerrymandering the shit out of the shit and taking power and fighting to the point of where everybody in every state is miserable. We have to have some sort of discussion about like a secession and then like the ability to transfer people. Like if they want to move out of their red state into a blue state, and we want people that live in a blue state who want to get in a red state, we need to have an exodus, like a property transfer or some shit, where we let all the red state people go to red states. We let all the blue state people get into blue states, and we just do this big migration and separation, right? You know what I mean? I think that would be cool. Dude, secession, I'm down with it, bro. Right? That's what I think. Dude, I know, yeah. But see, they don't want that though. They don't want to do that though because they know that they need us for their meal ticket. Right? You can't afford a house in any other state. And what state are you in, L? But we'd get you a transfer. right? You wouldn't have to worry about that shit. We'd make sure you get a transfer. We'd get you out of your state, your whatever shithole red state you're stuck in. West Virginia, we'll get you out of West Virginia. We got you. Trust me. Dude, let's go, baby. Dude, I've always talked about secession. I have, dude. I mean, I've talked about this since before when people would say a civil war's coming. Because I've said I don't want a civil war. Like, I don't want to make red state people live under blue state laws. I would rather they just go live in their redville. You know what I mean? Like civil wars are dumb because you're forcing people to live in shit they don't want. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like two countries would be better. You know what I mean? It would be better. Like if they really want to have genital checks and anti-trans laws, let them have it, but you get your own country and we're not paying for your shit anymore. Okay, I'm sorry, Texas. We're not paying your bills anymore, buddy. You're going to have to fucking bootstrap and pay your fucking, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're going to have to fucking pay your shit, right? Fuck them. Let's go. All right. I'm not wasting any more time talking about this, though. All right, we got shit to move on to. All right. Dude, we got shit to move on to. You want to transfer? Yeah, we'll get you a transfer. We'll get everybody transferred out. You know what I mean? Red state welfare queens. Yeah, let's go. Or at the very least, the West Coast, we can opt out. California, Oregon, and Washington, nice clean split. Let's go. Oh, shit. Isn't that funny? See, you know what's funny, though? What's funny about it is this, is how, like, if you look at the slave states, once they got rid of slavery, now all of their economies are shit. They were nothing without slavery, right? You know what I mean? It's like all the former slave states, their economies are all trash, right? I mean, I'm not surprised by that, but dude, let's go. Oh shit. Dude. Yeah. So dude, what do you think though? How are we taking bets on how long Trump has to live? Right? I don't think he's going to be around long, guys.
President in Israel.
Two questions. One is that Intel. There have been reports that you're considering taking a stake in Intel. Can you tell us
About the 10%?
About the 10%.
Yeah, I met a man. He was a very nice man, and I called for his removal because I saw something by a man named Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas. He's a great guy, friend of mine, supporter of mine, big supporter. I'm a supporter of his too. And he wrote a pretty nasty story about the head of Intel. And I said, well, if that's right, he should resign. And he came in, he saw me, we talked for a while. I liked him a lot. I thought he was very good. I thought he was somewhat a victim, but, you know, nobody's a total victim, I guess. And
what's he talking about?
You know what? I think the United States should be given 10% of Intel. And he said, I would.
Dude, look at him. Dude, he's barely fucking... This guy is barely holding on, dude. Dude, A1. He's definitely A1. Bro. Dude, what is he fucking doing, boss? Holy shit. Yeah, no, now the Republicans are like national socialists, right? The U.S. government is taking 10% of all the companies. Yeah, how's that going to work out well? Like, what the fuck? Dude, what are they doing, man? Oh my God, dude.
Consider that. I said, well, I'd like you to do that because Intel has been left behind, as you know, compared to Jensen and some of our friends, NVIDIA, some of the people and the people in, because Intel should have never been. Intel was the biggest, most powerful chip company in the world.
Dude. Oh, shit. This little picture of Putin. Oh, Lord have mercy, bro. Right? Dude. What are we fucking doing, bro? This is funny, too, because this is J.D. Vance. Hold on. This is a good clip as well.
We've learned that the FBI is searching the home of former Ambassador John Bolton, his office as well.
Sure.
Can you tell me, why is the FBI raiding Ambassador Bolton's home and office, and did the White House get a heads up?
Well, so we're in the very early stages of an ongoing investigation into John Bolton. I will say we're going to let that investigation proceed. What I can tell you is that unlike the Biden DOJ and the Biden FBI, our law enforcement agencies are going to be driven by law and not by politics. And so if we think that Ambassador Bolton has committed a crime, of course, eventually prosecutions will come.
If we think he's committed a crime, do you hear what he said there? He said, if we think he's committed a crime, prosecutions will come. But wait a second, guys. You need to be thinking he committed a crime in order to raid his house, right? If we think he committed a crime, prosecution will come. But why are you raiding his house if you don't already think he committed a crime? You see that? That's a little weird there, guys, that they're raiding his house before they even think he may have committed a crime. Huh. Yeah, they're like, all right, we're going to raid his house. And then after we raid his house, we're going to decide, did he commit a crime? Did we find any crimes in there? Dude, what the fuck are we doing, bro? Like, yeah, they're using the law. How are you using the law? Like, normally you have to get like a search warrant to raid someone's house, right? You believe a crime is being committed. Yeah, Trump committed a crime of taking classified documents. He's hiding them in Mar-a-Lago. He won't give them back. So therefore, we're going to go raid fucking Mar-a-Lago, right? But they're like, no, we're going to raid John Bolton. And then if we think he committed a crime, we're definitely going to prosecute. But you see that wordplay? Like,
Biden DOJ and the Biden FBI, our law enforcement agencies are going to be driven by law and not by politics. And so if we think that Ambassador Bolton has committed a crime, of course, eventually prosecutions will come. But as you know, Kristen, this is all part of gathering evidence, trying to understand something that we're worried about. And of course, I'll let the FBI comment on the next stage of the investigation.
What's at the root of this? Is this about classified documents?
Well, again, I'll let the FBI speak to that. Classified documents are certainly part of it, but I think that there's a broad concern about Ambassador Bolton. They're going to look into it. And like I said, if there's no crime here, we're not going to prosecute it. If there is a crime here, of course, Ambassador Bolton will get his day in court. That's how it should be.
See, what I don't understand is why this reporter is not asking them, well, why are you raiding his house if there's no crime that was fucking committed?
But again, our focus here is on, did he break the law? Did he commit crimes against the American people? If so, then he deserves to be prosecuted.
As we have.
You know what I mean? I mean, that to me would be a question. Like, well, don't you need to, right? The whole point of raiding the house is because you suspect a crime has been committed. Dude, nobody fucks J.D. Vance like a frat house sectional. Can I just tell you? All right. And then here was his other one here.
They'll brief me, probably today sometime.
And the foreign minister.
I tell Pam and I tell the group, I don't want to know, but just you have to do what you have to do. I don't want to know about it. It's not necessary. I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. I'm actually the chief law enforcement officer, but I feel that it's better this way.
Dude, I could know about it. I could be the one starting it. Oh yeah, no shit. Dude, you could be in a pine box too. Dude, there's no way. I mean, this, like, how does anyone take this shit seriously? Like, America, why did we do this to ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Why did we do this to ourselves? Like, we are seriously fucked up, bro. Holy shit. But hey, guys, at least we can be upset about Cracker Barrel, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what's really important here is Cracker Barrel logo. That shit is really affecting. Dude, let's go, Willem. Good to see you, brother. Let's go. All right. Dude, long ears. Oh, there it is. Dance party in effect. Let's go, baby. Oh. Dude, GG's, dude. Yeah. Yeah, this is wild, guys. Dude, today, I don't know, dude, that press conference was pretty batshit. Right? Yeah, so, I mean, I keep seeing people, like, talking about some sort of conspiracy theory about hacked voting machines. And I say, when I see some actual evidence of this, then maybe we'll discuss it. But I'm not going to sit there and fucking cry about, like, conspiracy theories, right? That's what the Republicans did. The minute they lost, they were like, oh, my God, like, oh, we must have won. But, like, I find it fully believable that middle America didn't vote for a black woman, guys. Like, come on, man. It's fucking racist, misogynist America, okay? Like, middle America not voting for a black woman is the most believable goddamn thing, okay? If you've ever been to a small town in the middle of this country, you know that they were fucking gonna vote for Trump. That's why we were all freaking out when Biden fell apart, because we knew what our option was. And we knew that middle America was probably not going to fucking do the right thing. You know what I mean? It's the most believable goddamn thing out there that middle America would vote for this asshole, okay? Because middle America is fucked, right? And I mean, dude, they've done so much voter suppression, and like they activated a voter base that never votes, which is young white men, okay? They got them all angry and afraid their dicks were going to be cut off. And so they got a group of voters that never fucking vote to go out and vote as well. So it's like, in addition to the racism, like, I'm not going to waste my time like, oh my God, oh, they rigged the election. So what even if they did, what does that mean? What does that mean? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You know what I mean? What are you going to do about it? Show me what you're going to do about it. Right? What are you going to do? Transgender for everyone, dude. There you go. Oh, shit. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I don't do conspiracy theories, boss. It's not my vibe. Sorry, not my vibe. You're going to have to find somebody else to buy into that shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? You produce some evidence, go to court, and fucking win a court case on that evidence, and then I'll buy in, right? Right? When somebody produces, I know there's people like Jessica Denson or whatever, there are people talking about this shit, but we got to see somebody take it into the courts with provable evidence. Then when I see that and something happens in court, I'll latch onto it. You know what I'm saying? I will. I will, like, if I see it in court. Like, don't get me, I was profoundly disappointed. You know what I mean? But for, you know, the conspiracy theories are not really my fucking super cup of tea, boss. I honestly think she, you know, 1.4%, dude, for me, that's a believable margin. I knew during the fucking thing. But dude, Trump says all kinds of shit during his rallies. Dude, Trump thought he was going to lose, guys. In the beginning of the night, he was like tweeting about Pennsylvania. He was sure he was going to lose. In the beginning of the night, he was like, oh, fuck. And then all of a sudden, he like stopped tweeting. Dude, he thought he was going to lose, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you don't need me to get a recount, boss. Like, I'm not standing in your way of a fucking recount. If you're into that shit, go. Seriously. Like, those of you who are in chat that say this is an actual thing, you should be out there getting a fucking recount, right? Instead of sitting here trying to convince me of your bullshit, go get involved and get the recount happening and fucking get some legal proof, and then I will back you up. Until then, shut the fuck up with that shit. right? I'm not going with every time we lose, it's some grand conspiracy and they were changing votes. That's dumb. That's what they did, boss. Right? Let's go. Dude, I'm not going to start. See, here's what's funny though, guys. You ready? Can I just point this out? Because I have people in chat right now that we know Trump is a liar, but then Trump says something about Elon and machines, and you're like, oh, Trump is telling the truth there. And it's like, no, Trump also says Trump 2028. Trump threatens that he's going to take over the whole fucking country. Trump, right? Trump says all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, believe me, I'm not starting to believe him just because of that. Oh, Trump said, oh, Elon helped us out. Of course he did. Elon gave him $280 million. Elon turned the Muslims against the Democrats with some very crafty, like, mailer campaigns in several states. You know what I'm saying? But let's go, baby. Dude, yeah, I've not seen any credible evidence. You know what I'm saying? I've not seen any credible evidence of that. You know, I mean, I've been watching shit that like Scott Presler was doing with voter registrations, and I know they did ballot harvesting, and I know that TPUSA activated young white voters, and I know that like a black woman was not going to win the presidency in America, and Kamala came fucking goddamn close, bro, which is crazy, right? And then there was all kinds of voter suppression too, you know what I mean? They kicked people off voter rolls, they were closing polling places. You know what I mean? But, you know, I haven't seen any fucking legitimate evidence of that shit. So I'm not wasting time with there. Yeah, dude, dude, Dearborn, Michigan is like crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? That to me is like really sad. Yeah, the suppression is always a huge hit though, guys. They do that in every election. You know what I'm saying? You know, dude, there were so many like there, you know, but guys, we do have to get our shit together though, guys. You know, I'm just saying this, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying I already have that, Natalie. I already have the Maxwell interview. I have it all downloaded, right? I downloaded all the transcripts and shit. So we're good, okay? We good. Let's go. Oh, shit. Dude, so, I mean, Kamala used to lock potheads up. Yeah, well, and Trump's a rapist. You know, I think having the woman who used to lock potheads up is better than having the rapist dictator. You know, I don't care what Kamala did before. I didn't care. Dude, she was 1,000 times better than Trump. She was an easy vote. That was the easiest slam dunk ever. That was like a slam dunk standing on top of the fucking net. Anybody who fucked that vote up should lose their voting card. Seriously, you're a goddamn idiot if you didn't fucking, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That was a slam dunk. Oh, shit. There are reasons that aren't just being racist. No, they're not, actually, Johnny. Because when you look at Trump and you look at Kamala, there is no reason to not vote for Kamala unless it's racism, right? There's no reason. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're a MAGA Republican, then fine. You're going to vote for Donald Trump. But outside of being a MAGA Republican who supported all his Hitler rhetoric and you're totally racist and xenophobic, anybody who is not in the fucking, like, the guy's an insurrectionist, rapist, liar, criminal, convicted felon, Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. There's no reason on planet Earth that anybody would have cast a vote for him over her. Okay? There was nothing about her that was less than that. You know what I'm saying? And so if you didn't vote for her, right? And especially if you're in a state where voting for her was necessary, and if you didn't vote for her, you contributed to Trump winning. It's like, dude, that's a no-brainer, man. If I vote for the destruction of the country or not the destruction of the country, I'm going to vote for not the destruction of the country. It's my civic duty to vote for not destroying the country. Okay? If anybody who let Trump win, either voting for him or being in a state where their vote mattered and not voting for the other person who could win, then they failed their civic duty. Your civic duty is to not let Hitler get into power, right? Period. Okay? And all other problems are fixable, right? I mean, that's the way I look at it. There's Hitler getting in power or somebody who's not Hitler, who all the problems they could bring could fix it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you're racist for not voting for her, but I'm saying you decided you were going to let Hitler win because you wouldn't vote for her, right? You would like, I'm not going to vote for the person who could beat Hitler. And that's fine. I don't care why you did it. You made that choice. But I think that's a stupid choice. I'm not going to fucking tell you it's not a stupid choice, but you're allowed to make stupid choices. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, the reason she lost is because of racism. Because people in Middle America and the independent voters in Middle America were not going to vote for a black woman. Right? You know what I'm saying? Period. Dude, I'm not talking to you anymore. I don't know what you're fishing for. You're fishing for something and you're being annoying. Okay? You made a choice. All right? So you didn't vote for in Ohio. That's a problem. That helped Trump win. Okay? And that's fine. You're allowed to fucking help Trump win by not voting for her. You know, that's you. You have to live with that. It's not my choice. I fucking voted for her. All right. I voted for not Hitler. All right. I did the due diligence. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I did the due diligence, right? I did my civic duty to vote against Hitler. That is my fucking civic duty. And I feel good about that. Right? I feel good about that because I know all the shit we're going through right now. I didn't cause it. I didn't cause it. All right? All right, let's go. Let's get into this. We got to get into Ghislaine. Let's go, baby. Dude, it is getting bad. Dude, people just are fucking, I don't know. People are fucking annoying, bro. It's real simple. You know what I'm saying? And dude, no, I've not watched any of Jessica Denson's expert analysis. She needs to go to court. Okay. I watched Jessica Denson get booted from 𝗏𝗏touch. And so that led me to believe that she didn't have credible evidence. Because 𝗏𝗏touch, dude, fucking, right? Dude, Brent, they're lawyers. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, he's a fucking lawyer. All right. Believe me. There's so many legal people in America. If they had credible evidence, there would be lawsuits fucking taking place, boss. Right? You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Right? If the Mycelis brothers aren't filing the case, like, come on, man. You got to wake up. You're going to end up being MAGA fodder if you keep buying into this shit. Come on, people. Right? Let's go. If Tim Walz had been at the top of the ticket, no, Tim Walz wouldn't have won. Tim Walz could not have won a fucking national election, bro. No. No, man. Right? If dude, first off, if, you know, I mean, there's no way to speculate what would have happened, but Tim Walz wasn't going to win. All right, we got shit to do though, guys. I don't want to talk about this shit. This is a fucking black hole of nothingness. Right? I've got to have more productive ways of fighting than sitting here wallowing. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? Let's go, dude. Dude, I mean, Tim's a great legislator. He's just not national fucking candidate worthy. He can't handle the press, right, Tim? And he couldn't handle the debate. You know, he cracked under pressure. Okay? Tim was just not. You know what I mean? All right. But we do, however, we got to look at this shit. So let's see what we got here.
This is the afternoon test of the recording device. I see the red light blinking.
See, this is really weird. Okay, guys, can I just say about Ghislaine? Yeah. I have not covered that, but save that, Natalie. But so we have to talk about this, because let's talk about the way they gave us these files. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the way they gave us these files. Okay, because look at this, guys. Okay, we have a situation here where they gave us all these tests. Like, why did they give us 3 short mic tests and then a couple of broken files, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, why didn't they give us one unedited file of the entire Ghislaine Maxwell interview? I think that's a credible question. Okay, they gave us a test, right? And then they give us 6 files from day 1. And in day 2, they give us 2 test files and then 4 files from day 2. Okay, but the question being, why did they do it like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is a fair question, because if they wanted transparency, they would have just given one. You have one file. You start the tape, you do the deposition, you end the tape, you release the unedited file. Voila. There you go. But again, what do we have, dude? We have a test, right?
This is the afternoon test of the recording device.
Okay, thank you.
I see the red light blinking.
Oh, the red light's blinking.
Continuing with the lunch break.
Oh, we're continuing with the lunch break. Oh, you did a test during the lunch break. Okay, all right, hold on. There's one where someone's laughing. You hear that? This is one of the tests where there's just somebody laughing. Dude, what the fuck is that? And on and off with the test?
Light to let you know that it works. Light to let you know that it works. Light to let you know that it
Dude, what are these files that they released, dude? Dude, what is this, bro? Right? Dude, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? All right, but now we have a file that we can actually listen to. They have day 1 broken up into 7 parts, okay? And they're kind of numbered weird. You have 3, 4, 5. So 1 and 2 were apparently a test in the beginning, maybe 3, 4, 5. Then presumably there's a lunch break. And then you come back with the afternoon test of 6. And then there's 7, 8, 9, 10. But again, the way they have this shit like distributed to us was a little bit unusual. It's not at all transparent. It makes you think that, yes, there is something in those gaps. Now, I want to draw yourself, before we get started to this, guys, I do want to draw your attention to the language. Like, if we're going to listen to the whole thing, okay, to see if it's newsworthy. But I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, of course, she posted about this, and I got up in her shit. But everybody was showing one particular bit of the transcript, and I feel like we do need to talk about this. I'll just find somebody who does it, because there was a language thing that I thought was really interesting, okay? And it was... Hold on, let me find it. Let me find the fucking one. All right, so you get a good, easily readable copy. Okay, here. So yeah. So if you guys, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the way the legal profession works, okay? But when you're a lawyer, the language is very important, okay? Because the question would be like, did you ever observe Donald Trump with underage girls? But look at the question here. Did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Okay, now, there's a number of ways, okay? Because first off, President Trump, right? Ghislaine Maxwell could say, no, I never saw President Trump receive a massage, but I saw Donald Trump receive a massage when he wasn't president. She could pass a fucking lie detector test with that, right? And again, did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Well, I mean, massage was Jeffrey Epstein's thing. So this language here is like really curiously specific. Did you ever observe President Trump receive a massage? Okay. And then, you know what I mean? Right? Did you ever observe, you said that you were, I mean, have you seen, there's photographs, public photographs of President Trump and Epstein together. And then she says, I never actually saw the president in any type of massage setting. But like, dude, having sex with young girls doesn't have to be a massage setting. The massage setting was specific to Jeffrey Epstein's obsession. And then she said, I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody in the right. But like, to say the president was never inappropriate with anybody, he wasn't president then. And what's more, if he was inappropriate with somebody, she certainly didn't see it. Right? But like, sure. Like that is like, you know what I mean? She just sort of like goes in and clears his name without being asked. But the language used is like really unusual because the language was used to set it up for a denial. Because surely, like if you look at Maria Farmer, when she was in Epstein's office at night and Trump came in and Epstein came out and said, she's not here for you, takes Trump in the back room, Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't there and there was no massage. But Trump went into that back room and Trump thought Maria Farmer was for him, right? So there's a lot of this language is just really super specific and leading and you know, Ghislaine Maxwell is offering this whole Trump was never inappropriate when she wasn't even asked the question. And this, guys, doesn't really happen, okay? Because like right here, guys, when Ghislaine Maxwell like leads in there and says, oh, I never saw the Trump, a normal deposition, the lawyer would say, whoa, like, stop. I didn't ask you a question there. Or they would like then follow up with the question about inappropriate and get more and more specific. But let's see the rest of this. I just thought for me, you know, all the friends that I have that were lawyers was like, when I saw this paragraph, I was like, dude, this is like a rookie lawyer would eat this shit alive. You know what I mean? Like, if I was doing a deposition, like, I would eat this shit alive, dude. This is not even, you know, this is some of the rookiest investigatory shit I think I've ever seen. But yeah, let's fucking check out part one.
Today's date is Thursday.
Should we roll? You want me to roll the transcript with this? So let's do that. Let me set it up so I can roll the transcript so we can see the words as she's talking, okay? That'll be good, right? So wait a second here. July 24th. So that's a Thursday. Let me see here. See, it's weird, okay, because, like, what's up with the transcript? He starts off by saying today's Thursday.
Today's date is Thursday, July 24th. This will be the recording.
This will be... Like, it's not even in the transcript, right? You know what I mean? Like, how is that possible, guys? Do you notice that? You see what I'm doing here? We're looking at the July 24th, and the recording, he says, today's date is July 24th. This will be, but like what's on this recording is not in the transcript. So the recording and the transcript of the interview they released, like, don't match, or presumably this transcript is starting later on. Right?
Of a proffer agreement of Ghislaine Maxwell from the Deputy Attorney General, DOJ, and the time is currently 9:16. Maxwell and counsel are arriving to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we will commence the proffer shortly.
So the first clip is something unrelated with the interview, and Ghislaine Maxwell's team's not even there. That's part one that they released. Dude, what is this? What are we... You see what's going on here, guys? How crazy this is? That they're like releasing this shit, but it's not like the transcript. You should have one audio file, and there should be a transcript that matches the audio file. But, like, dude, this is nuts, bro.
I'm going to ask everybody to put their name on the record, of course.
Good morning. My name is Assistant Special Agent in Charge Spencer Horn.
Okay, so let's find this. Good morning. Okay, so here we go. This should be it. Page 2 of the interview. This file should be starting here. I don't know why they didn't start at the beginning. Yeah, no, this is some serious dog shit. Like the way it's released, there was no reason to even release all those other, like, tester files. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but this is a fucking clown show that doesn't make it. But anyway, all right, this one should be it. You ready? Here we go. So this should be the start here.
I'm going to ask everybody to put their name on the record, of course.
Good morning. My name is Assistant Special Agent in Charge Spencer Horn of FBI New York. Today we're doing a proffer of Ms. Maxwell. The date is July 24th, and the time is 10:12 a.m. This interview is being recorded.
And my name is Todd Blanche. I'm the Deputy Attorney General.
Jesus.
And, before we start formally asking questions of Ms. Maxwell, I'm going to put on the record everybody that's in this room in addition to me. Starting with you,
Diego Pastana, Associate Deputy Attorney General.
And then you heard from Special Agent in Charge Horn. Mark Beard from the United States Marshal Service is here as well. And then David?
Yes, this is David Oscar Marcus, and I'm counsel for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Good, the sound quality is terrible.
I'm counsel for Ghislaine Maxwell.
My name is Melissa Madrigal, and I'm counsel for Ghislaine Maxwell.
Dude, she has 3 fucking lawyers. Yeah, I mean, we're going to go into this, but, like, obviously there's so many holes in this shit because Ghislaine Maxwell is a perjurer. She is a sexual abuser who sexually molested multiple teen girls. She trafficked them for prostitution and sex. right? She's convicted, 20-year sentence. She's in prison. Obviously, the guy she's exonerating in this is a dude who can significantly impact her chances of getting out of jail. They transferred her to a minimum security facility, which never happens for sex offenders. I mean, this whole thing just stinks to fucking high heaven. I mean, it does. The whole thing is just a scam, con. She's not reliable. You know, it totally bullshit. And dude, the whole thing stinks.
And I'm Ghislaine Maxwell.
Good morning, Ms. Maxwell. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Black.
Good. Okay, so before we started recording, we met for a few minutes. I introduced myself and we chatted, and now I told you that we were going on the record.
Before we started recording, we fucking chatted. All right. That's a bad sign, but now we're going on the record. Yeah, nope, there you go, dude. Hello. This whole thing is a sham.
And before we start asking questions, I know that you've been given by your lawyer a copy of what's called a proffer agreement. And I just want to spend 2 minutes making sure that you understand what governs our conversation today. The most important part of this agreement is that this isn't a cooperation agreement, meaning that by you meeting with us today, we're really just meeting. I'm not promising to do anything. I'm not promising to ask Judge Nathan or any of the judges that's been assigned to your case to do anything. We're just talking, and so that's the most important part of this agreement. However, almost as important is the fact that what this agreement does for you is it gives you protection. So what it means is that the government cannot use what you say today against you, with some exceptions, which we'll talk about in a minute. But whatever you talk about today, you have what's called immunity. So that means that the words that you say today, we cannot use against you in a case in chief if we were ever to bring one. Okay?
See, what's crazy about this is it's wild how the felons keep getting immunity in the Epstein case, right? But has Todd Blanche gone and met with any of the victims? No. The victims don't get to talk to the DOJ. The victims aren't getting interviewed. The victims, all their files, they're not even getting access to their case. That's being blocked. Okay? But the predators, the ones in prison, Ghislaine Maxwell and of course Jeffrey Epstein, they all get immunity. They all get like, oh, you're safe. You're safe. You're in good hands here.
Thank you.
There's exceptions to that. The most meaningful one of which is that if you say something today that's not true, that's a lie, we can bring a prosecution against you for what's called false statements.
See, there's the problem, guys. And this ties into what I talked about, right? Right here, dude. This is the loophole. This is the setup. The most meaningful one of which is that if you say something that's not true, that is a lie, we can prosecute you. But if you didn't lie, you're safe. And then they ask the questions. Did you ever see Trump in a massage setting? No, she's not lying. But she saw Trump with other shit, right? She just didn't see him get a massage, right? And this is the setup, guys. This is the whole thing. Now, Todd Blanche, he's obviously not a stupid lawyer. He helped navigate Trump through the fucking, you know what I'm saying? Through all this other shit. Okay, so through the use of language that they are setting up an exoneration of Donald Trump where Ghislaine doesn't have to lie, or she's not being caught in a lie, even if they, you know, in the files later, some of this shit refutes this stuff. They've been very careful with those leading questions. And man, it's just so dirty.
So, I'm a federal officer. I have several officers here. The FBI is here, and if you lie to someone that's like me or like Special Agent Horn, it's a crime. So you have to be truthful. The other exception to this that doesn't necessarily apply directly to you, but if there ever was a retrial in your case, or if there ever was a criminal case, a future criminal case against you, and your lawyer or you said something different or took a position that's different than what you say today, we can then cross-examine you or a witness based upon what you say today. So it's a little bit nuanced, meaning I can't use what you say against you in our case in chief. However, if you were to testify, or if your lawyer called a witness to testify and they said something that is totally different than what you say today, we could then cross-examine you or the witness and say, hey, do you remember when we met with Miss Maxwell back in July of 2025? She told us, and then say what she said. Okay?
I understand.
Okay. Other than that, I know you didn't have a lot of time this morning to meet with Mr. Marcus, but did you have a chance to go over this briefly with him?
I did.
Okay. All right. So I've already signed it, as has Special Agent Horn,
Okay.
and Mr. Marcus signed it as well. So you got a pen? Please sign it right where it says clients. Yep. And I will provide a copy of this to your lawyer so you guys have it. Okay. Thank you. So, Ms. Maxwell, about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago,
You see the light blinking on there? On the Sony. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, we're just confirming that it works, and it does. Ms. Maxwell, I guess about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, Mr. Marcus reached out to me and said that you wanted to speak with somebody from the government about not only your case, but about everything that's been in the media and that's been publicized about Mr. Epstein in your case.
That is true, and I did speak to him, and I did ask him did tell him that I was very keen to talk to anyone, because no one from the government at any time ever since the inception of the case, so dating back to the early 2000s, has ever spoken to me, and indeed I believe ever reached out to me at any time to even speak to me, and that includes up to when I was indicted and prosecuted. I believe that, or I understand, I should say rather, that my attorneys at the time did tell the government that I wanted to speak to them, because I was very keen to meet with anyone so that I could tell or have them ask me any question. I've never had any problem just to speak to anybody, and I offered myself, and I kept asking if they would meet with me so that I could talk to them, and for whatever reason.
See, what's wild about this is she could have testified at her trial, right? She's like, oh, no one from the government has ever wanted to speak to me. It's like, oh, why didn't you just take the stand at your trial then? You know what I mean? I mean, isn't it pretty fucking like, she's like, oh, I just want to talk to the government. No one's ever wanted to talk to me. They just prosecuted me.
Okay.
That was not happening.
Okay. I have questions that I want to ask you, but I'm not, if there's a question that I'm not asking that you think should be asked, I invite you to volunteer. Same thing goes to your lawyers.
See, this is wild right there, this part. He's like, I have some questions, but hey, if you want to volunteer anything or there's a path you want to take, you guys, it's a free for all, right? No lawyer ever in the history of a fucking deposition or interview has ever gone in and said, hey man, I have some questions, but if you want to just go off on some sort of tangent, free for all, like, yeah, you just go ahead. You just pile in, right? You know what I mean? Dude, nobody, no lawyer said no lawyer ever. Dude, or like her lawyers just being like you only answer what they ask you, right? Everything about this is fucking wildly like not a normal law proceeding at all.
Just to start a little bit very briefly, can you talk about when you first met Mr. Epstein, I know that goes back a while, and just very generally talk about your relationship with Mr. Epstein from the time you met him all the way up until his death.
Okay, let's stop right there. Why the fuck would they be asking that question? Why would Donald Trump's lawyer go to meet with a woman who's in prison for 20 years, right, and ask her the question of very just generally from the time you met him until his death? Why don't you just give me a rundown of like, right, they're like trying to get Ghislaine Maxwell to set the official Jeffrey Epstein story where she's going to be like, oh, I met him and like, oh yeah, like bloody, right? The fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, why would they even ask this question? Why are you, right? You know what I mean? Like they're like, all right, you give us basically the Jeffrey Epstein story from Ghislaine's, you know, very briefly, like, tell us his whole life story of you guys. Yeah, very generally, give us the synopsis of you and her. And she's like, oh yeah, well, oh, I met Jeffrey. He's a marvelous guy. Next thing you know, I'm in jail. Oh, he had a sex addiction. I had nothing to do with it. Trump had nothing to do with it, right? Nothing nefarious went on. There was no list. No powerful people did anything. This whole thing is really just, I don't know what happened, right? Dude, this is like wild, boss.
I met Mr. Epstein in 1991. I'd never heard of him or met him before, and no one in my family had ever either. My father never knew him. And
oh, you see that setup? I had never heard of him. No one in my family had ever heard of him. My father had never heard of him. Dude!
I'll explain why that is the case.
Where did you meet him?
I had a girlfriend who I'd moved to America briefly I'd moved to America in 1990.
Okay.
Moved, that's a big word. I'd come to visit America in 1990. I had been running my own company up until that time, which was a company called Maxwell's Corporate Gifts. And I had also been working for my father at the time. I had multiple jobs with him. I was, in 1990, I was working with a new company of his, a new newspaper that he was launching called The European. And I was in charge of launching a magazine to go with the European. And I was traveling at that time from England to America because my father was looking to, he'd also bought Macmillan, the publishing house, and he had purchased the New York Daily News. And it's true to say that my father always wanted me to come back full-time and work for him, but that's a much longer story I don't think we need to go into at this time. So, but I was always working with him. Well, there was no escaping, as it were, to work for him. So in 1990, I had come over to New York to help look at some of that. He was having some advertising issues with the New York Daily News, and in fact, I may have met Donald Trump at that time.
Okay, so she said in 1990, in fact, I may have met Donald Trump at that time because my father was friendly with him and liked him very much. Dude, she's totally lying, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I may have met, oh yeah, my father liked him, yeah, all right. Dude, he'd been on their yacht.
My father was friendly with him and liked him very much, and I think it should be said that he also very much liked Ivana because she was also from Czechoslovakia, where my dad was from. So I don't remember if I did meet him or not in 1990 with my dad, but I knew that that's how I knew about then Mr. Trump.
And this was before you met?
This was before I met Mr.
Epstein?
Yes.
Okay. Right.
So I was already going backwards and forwards in America, and then in.
So she does admit that she knew Trump before Epstein, even though she's being a little evasive about, oh, I may have met him. That's how I knew of him. But, dude.
April of 1991, I came to New York. I can't remember for what reason, what business reason, but there was a business reason, something to do with my dad at that time. And a girlfriend of mine, an American, told me, I'd broken up with I'd been engaged, getting with a very long-term boyfriend, and we'd broken up. And she said, well, I got, as your girlfriends do, I've got a guy for you to meet. And I was like, who is it? And she goes, he's been dating my sister, you'll love him, he's looking for a wife. I'm edging towards 30, I don't need to tell you guys, that's a very important moment for a girl, to think about important things. Sure, I'd be happy to meet him. And so sometime in 1991, we're in 1991, I met him at his offices on Madison Avenue. And I think the most memorable thing I can think about that is he was wearing a tie, which he didn't often do, and it had a giant tomato ketchup stain on it. So I was like, wow, okay. And that.
So she's talking about Epstein here, right? She's, I guess, saying her friend set her up with him as like a date, and she met him in an office. Yeah, dude, I don't know, dude. This is not really this is not wowing me at all, right? He has a fucking tie with a ketchup stain. Dude, what?
That was how we met.
Was your meeting at his office for you to meet him just personally, or were you there for work-related reasons?
No, well, I knew nothing about him. Okay. He just invited me to come and have tea at him. And I was like, tea, that's English, okay. But what was unusual was in his offices. So I went to his offices and we met. And I found him very engaging, and that was that.
Okay, so that's how you meet him. So, and again, I don't want to spend a lot of time, on this particular issue, but what happened with your relationship over the years from the time you meet him in 1991 up until the time he passed away?
So, dude, how did you meet Jeffrey Epstein? Oh, he didn't know any of my family. She's cleared the family, cleared Robert Maxwell. Ostensibly, if there is some type of intelligence connection, she's now saying, nope, not through my dad, right? And I kind of knew who Trump was, but my dad loved Trump, but I didn't really know Trump, yada, yada. Oh, then my friend sets me up with this Jeffrey Epstein guy. And now they're like, give us the highlights from then until he died. Dude, what are we doing, bro? This is the most astroturfed deposition experience I think I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so I was looking for real estate for my dad to buy some, and Epstein told me that he was also looking to move from his apartment, and would I help him? And I said, sure, I'm looking already, so I could look for him. So that's how it started.
Okay, here's another thing that I find weird, guys. Why is she calling him Epstein in this deposition? Right? You know what I'm saying? Do you find that weird? That, I'm sure she called him Jeffrey. I don't think she ever referred to him. He was her fucking boyfriend. And they dated for a while, and they were business partners. And even with Trump was like, when Jeffrey calls, we don't even use his last name. They never used his last name. Everybody knew him as Jeffrey, right? Even Trump, okay? And now she's referring to him, and Epstein told me he was looking. It is like she's referring to him like She's outside of it. Jose, let's go, baby. Dude, you know what I'm saying? She's referring to him like that's a really weird detail, guys. Right? She didn't even mention his name, like, but she is now referring to him like he's this other entity. Right? And you can go to my Instagram page if you want to read about that, boss. Dude, I fucking quit. Fucking politics greater than gaming. End of story. Let's go, baby. But so right there's something. The whole setup of this is that's a tell. That's a very weird thing for her to refer to him as Epstein. I'm gonna back up a tiny bit, but thank you, dude. Appreciate you, Jose. Keep rocking, boss. All right, we're gonna back up a little bit. Hold on.
Personally, or were you there for work-related reasons? I'm gonna spend a lot of time, you know, on.
Dude, yeah, that is super bizarre. Dude, let's go. I'm gonna give you one more fucking Elon since that was a big one. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dude, let's go, baby. But I think though, as far as I understand, Fortnite is still around. I think it is still a very successful game. I play it like every couple months. I do, like off stream. It's fun. It's fun now. But I do not miss being a Fortnite streamer though. Dude, I didn't love it. But dude, yeah, this is pretty wild. Okay, the highlights. So I was looking for real estate for my dad to buy some, and Epstein told me he was also looking to move from his apartment, and would I help him? Yeah, dude, this is like, and so the thing about this though, guys, is the pardon. There's not really a pardon situation because Ghislaine Maxwell was prosecuted with state charges. So Trump can't pardon her from, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there were state charges with Ghislaine Maxwell, right? So, all right. Oh, she was, all right. No, she was charged. There were federal charges. So there were federal charges, but I think she can still be charged, right? I think she can still be charged with fucking state charges. You know, I thought she had state charges though, too. Okay, so no. So, all right. So she was charged with federal charges, but she could be brought up on state charges for all of that shit too, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's go, baby.
On this particular issue, but what happened with your relationship over the years from the time you meet him in 1991 up until the time he passed away? Just give the highlights.
Okay, the highlights. So,
okay, here we go.
I was looking for real estate for my dad to buy some, and Epstein told me that he was also looking to move from his apartment, and would I help him? And I said, sure, I'm looking already, so I could look for him. So that's how it started. And then in 1991, my father passed away, and I returned to New York after that, originally to come back and help with family businesses, which was Macmillan. And then the debacle of my father's passing hit the family, and we lost all our businesses, and my family thought that it would be best if I stayed in America because of the intensity of the press and the drama surrounding my father's death in England. So I stayed, and Epstein said, well, you can keep helping me, you can help me find a house, and you can decorate the house, and it gave me something.
Dude, again, sorry, I was fucking typing and shit. Dude, yeah, she keeps calling him Epstein. Her father passed away. Her father fucking died mysteriously, like falling off his yacht. He was in all likelihood murdered. Okay. Now, she did go through some chaos, right? But again, dude, she says so I stayed with Epstein and said, well, you can keep helping me. But she's referring to him as Epstein. They all called him Jeffrey. This is really fucking weird, guys.
Were you in a romantic relationship with him at this point, or just friends?
Just friends.
And while we're just, with respect to your father, there have been...
oh my God, here it comes. He's fucking gonna give her the opportunity to fucking, like, oh, my father didn't work in intelligence. Oh shit, bro.
Multiple questions about whether he worked for any intelligence agency. Do you have any knowledge about that?
I think, well, certainly my father had a background in intelligence because he was, I believe he did in the Second World War. He was a British intelligence officer. I think that my sort of belief is that once you've been an intelligence officer, you're kind of always, it doesn't mean that you're formally employed. So I don't think my dad in any formal sense was employed by any agency, but when you are a very significant businessman and politician, as my father was, you meet with people over time and you, I guess, trade business or ideas. I think if that would fall under that definition, that's how I would think of it. Now, he certainly...
dude, it's a non-denial denial. Right? You see that? Right? Once you're in intelligence, always in intelligence, but it's definitely a non-denial denial. Like, right? That is pretty wildly sketchy.
No formal knowledge of anything specifically that he did in that thing, but if you're asking me if I thought that he did help people, the answer would be yes, I do.
Right there, dude. I have no formal knowledge of anything specifically he did in that thing, but if you're asking me if I thought that he did help people, the answer would be yes, I did. Oh, shit.
Did your father and Mr. Epstein have a business relationship over the years? I know we're maybe jumping around a little bit tonight.
They never met. So...
as far as you know, they never even met?
No, I
or you know they never met?
I know they never met.
Okay. Well, how do you know they never met?
Thank you. Just categorically, no, they never met. Well, because after, in 1991, before my father died, he asked me if I'd met anybody interesting or whatever, because I was still trying not to be sucked back into the family business. And I told him that I had met Mr. Epstein, and the reason why I shared that I'd met Mr. Epstein because I believed at that time that Epstein worked for Bear Stearns, and Bear Stearns was one of our banks. And I knew that my father was friendly with both Jimmy Kane and with 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶𝗹𝗀. So my dad was actually in New York, I think. If I don't think I had this conversation on the phone, but I honestly, we're talking 30 years ago, so I'm not sure. But maybe I told him this verbatim because I know that what my dad did, whether I saw it or whether he did it and told me later, I don't remember, but he called both Jimmy Kane and 𝗙cie𝗶𝗏 to ask what sort of guy he was and was he even allowed to, because
they never
dude, what did she even say there, dude? Like that indiscernible? Did you hear that? Like what? I don't even know what that fucking little hubbub was right there. That little indiscernible fucking thing right there. Hold on, I want to hear that again.
Told me later, I don't remember, but he called both Jimmy Kane and 𝗙cie𝗶𝗏 to ask what sort of guy he was and was he even allowed to, because
so they never met.
He didn't even know.
But they had. They knew some of the same people. It sounds
now
like.
He's saying he didn't even know who he was. My dad, the intelligence guy, had no knowledge of Epstein.
Certainly, the Bear Stearns connection was something that you knew that they had.
No, well, he never had a connection with Epstein. He had a connection with the bank. I mean, Epstein, I'd never heard of him or knew of him before, and I certainly, if my dad had known him, right, when I said this is who he was, he didn't know who he was. So he rang 𝗙𝗍 and he rang Jimmy to ask if it was okay that I even knew him. And I just want to explain briefly why my father would even do such a thing.
Dude, this shit is crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, normally when they do these, the sound quality of these legal recordings is usually terrifically terrible, right? Like super hissy. But bro, what are we witnessing here, guys? We are witnessing the craziest cover up. Dude, don't forget, guys, dance party is coming. All right, let's go. I do want to thank some people here, though. Dude, fucking Jose Mendoza, thank you for the 15, bro. And Shay, thank you for dropping the big 20. And everybody who bought the dance party, thank you, guys. We're going to finish up this recording, right? Or maybe not. Maybe we're going to do, yeah, we might finish it. We got about 15 more minutes of this. And then we're going to dance party, and I'm going to go make some fucking videos. We're going to spend another day on this at least. But clearly, I mean, this is one of the most astroturfed scenarios I've ever seen. The softball questions, the leading questions, the like, give me the highlights about Epstein. And she's like, oh, he didn't know my dad. No intelligence. I don't know if I met Trump. I mean, this is so set up. Even with her calling him Epstein, that's fucking bizarre, bro. There's some shit going on. There's no way this woman knew the guy for 30 years. Okay? This guy fucking knew him for 30 years. She's not calling him Epstein. That is a conscious, like, decision made for this performance, man. You know what I mean? And like, dude, yeah, this dodgy as all fuck is a great way of putting it. It does not get any dodgier than this, guys. Like, wow.
I've had some interesting things that have...
So that was weird, right? Because she said, and I just want to explain briefly why my father would even do such a thing. And then there's like this weird, awkward pause. What was that about, right?
Do such a thing.
Right, hold on. All right, what was going on there?
Do such a thing.
Hold on, let me go back here.
That you knew that they had.
No, well, he never had a connection with Epstein. He had a connection with the bank. I mean, Epstein, I'd never heard of him or knew of him before, and I certainly, if my dad...
Something's going on!
Right, when I said this is who he was, he didn't know who he was. So he rang 𝗙𝗍 and he rang Jimmy to ask if it was okay that I even knew him. And I just want to explain briefly why my father would even do such a thing.
Giant pause?
Sorry.
What is that?
I've had some interesting things that have happened in my life, and one of them was to be found on an IRA kidnap and murder list.
And why are we hearing about this?
And so after that happened, well, there were other related, I'm not going to bore you with all the horrible things in that vein, but if you want the details, of course, I can. But after that happened, my father wanted to put a lot of protection on me, obviously. And I declined on the grounds that that would be a very life-restricting event. You're all in law enforcement, I know you understand this. And so he had told me that, I would be taking my life in my own hands and whatever. And so I think after that event and several others where I had stalkers and all that thing that one has, he was always quite protective of me. And so if I met somebody, he would try and verify that they weren't going to do anything hideous. And so in case you thought it was weird that he would call Jimmy and Ace, you may think it is, but from my perspective, he was just because he was concerned. I was in America alone, and he had an opportunity to verify who this person was. And so I don't know if I was in the room with him, I don't recall, but I know that at some point my father told me, he's fine, you can see him.
Yeah.
He's safe.
Okay.
Well, okay.
So we might come back.
Dude, what was that, bro? That was they're so weird. Like, her emotional, did you see how her emotional condition all changed for that section? To, like, she felt like she needed to explain. Her father called some guys at Bear Stearns to verify what kind of guy Epstein was because she had been on an IRA kidnap list. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, I know. Try to stay awake, guys. This is weird.
And touch a little bit more on that at some point, but
yeah,
I went down a rabbit hole for a minute.
That's right. I just wanted to.
Father. No, that's helpful. Thank you. So okay, so you're now in the 90s, and you're friends with Mr. Epstein. Your house, decorating the house or the apartment. What happens with your relationship again? I know we're talking about a 35-year time period or whatever, but to the extent you can kind of at a very high level talk about it.
Listen, I think just full disclosure is the best way to go at this point.
Yeah.
So in 1992, I slept with him one time. And I was like, whoa, that's it, we're going to be dating. Because that's how I thought. And I kind of thought of myself in that moment, like, because I felt if you slept with someone that you were then dating them. Yeah. That's the world I came from. But that really was, well, that's how I thought. But we didn't sleep together again for, I don't know, really a significant period of time. And when I say
years or?
I don't know if it was a year. I don't feel that feels long, but maybe 9 months. I mean, a long time.
Okay.
I just want to go back. So I had found a house for him to rent in New York because he had asked me. I'd been looking for my father, and I found one, which was a former Iranian embassy. I think it was. I think it belonged to the Iranians or the Iraqis, someone.
Okay.
And I didn't know that he had any money really, and it was like, I want to say it was $12,000 a month, which to me seemed like a fortune. And I said to myself, I found this house, but I don't think you can afford it. And he was like, ridiculous, of course I can afford it, and he rented it. And that house came with, it was a State Department house, because it was, I think that was under sequestration or whatever it was. And anyway, I put it back together, but there were certain rules you couldn't paint, because you had to go back, and you gave it back to the country that. So he had this house, and I had moved into a 10-foot by 10-foot apartment because all of our stuff had been either lost or frozen or whatever. So he became, in this moment of my life, like, really, because I was like, everything was, it felt very similar to this moment, if that makes any sense. Anyway, so, but I had no key to his house, I had no free access to his house. And in the entire time that he lived there, which was, I believe, until the beginning of 1996, I never slept a single night in that house. Ever. Not one.
But you, so you said a minute ago that that you had slept with him on one occasion, and at the time you remember thinking, that this meant you were in a relationship, but then it didn't. You really were not in that type of relationship.
Well, I thought,
did that change over between 91 and 92 or whatever, and years forward?
So I did travel with him a lot.
Okay.
So I would go to his houses in Palm Beach. He only had that house actually. No, that's not true. He had the house in Palm Beach, and he had a house in Ohio.
In where?
Ohio.
Okay.
And he had the house in Ohio because of his business relationship with Mr. Wexner. and he had and I had to go and decorate and put that house together. When we traveled together, we stayed in the same bed, but not in. But I didn't.
Go ahead. It's okay. Talk. So you stayed. So when you would travel with him to his houses in Palm Beach, Ohio, or even just traveling, if it was just traveling with him, you would stay in the same bed, so sleep in the same bed with him.
Yes.
Okay.
Epstein told me that he had a...
Dude, what was that music, bro? There was like music playing? Was that a ringtone? Or what the fuck is going on?
Heart condition.
Hey, what?
Heart condition.
Heart condition, okay.
Which meant that he didn't have intercourse a lot. Which suited me fine, because I actually do have a medical condition, which precludes me having a lot of intercourse.
So what was your understanding of his heart condition and why that prevented him from having intercourse regularly?
I don't know. I mean, he liked other forms of sexual activity.
Well, let's come back. We're going to obviously spend a lot of time on the actual conduct he was accused of, so we'll come back to that. So pick up where you were talking about you traveling around with him. He rented the New York former Iranian house
there you go. Yeah.
until around 96. That time, I believe you said that he was basically your life, like you were with him pretty regularly.
Well, no.
Okay.
So I never was with him regularly. That is one of those misnomers.
Oh, you see that? She says, I was never with him regularly, is what she says. But what's crazy about this is, I mean, she's trying to use this to distance herself, like clearly. I mean, if you talk to the victims or even the people that work in the house, they were like, Ghislaine ran that fucking show. She was like the woman of the house. Now, somebody said something in chat. There's no doubt that much like the Roman Polanski shit, where his wife gets murdered by Charles Manson and he ends up going off the deep end and doing all kinds of crazy shit. I have no doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell's dad dying and the chaos around it like launched her into this world. Okay, for sure. It was like the trauma and everything she went through that ended up getting her into this world. But she is really putting on an act here like she was separate from the whole Epstein thing. And in fact, we know quite the opposite, that she was like the ringleader. She was the person with the connections. She was the one who could get them into any room because of her daddy, because of that British fucking like connection shit. And this whole thing is like a Trump exoneration, which we're going to get to, and Ghislaine was not really as close to Epstein as everyone thought. I've been framed, kind of, I feel like vibe is coming out.
At the beginning, I did see more of him, but I worked in his office, so I would go to the office and I would see him, and I would count in my head when I would see him. I would count that that'd be a day that I would see him, but I never ever stayed with him. I believe certainly until 93 or 94. What I didn't know was that I think he was still with his actual girlfriend, who was Eva Anderson, who became Eva Dubin. They had been together, my understanding, I think about 10 years. I'm not sure, but that's what I think, 10 years. And I had understood from my girlfriend initially that they weren't together, and Epstein himself had told me that they were not together, but I don't think that was true. In fact, I know it's not true. So they were still together up until, I think, 94.
See, that's weird, though, because she just started this whole thing saying her girlfriend introduced her to Jeffrey Epstein because Ghislaine had gotten out of a long-term relationship, right? Ghislaine had gotten out of a long-term relationship and was, like, getting up into that marriage age. And now she's like, oh, when I met him, he was still with this other woman he had been with for 10 years. Like, dude, this is wildly, like, all over the place.
At some point in that period when Eva met Glenn Dubin and they got married, I think in 94, I don't remember when they got married. But her, she was his best friend and his everything. He told me that he always wished that he had married her and had a child with her. And I know that she was family for him for his whole life. And I think even, I'm not sure this is true, but you guys will know if this is true or not. When he came back from Paris and you arrested him, I don't know if Eva was on the plane. Now, I think that either I read it in the discovery that I received, or I saw it somewhere, but even if she wasn't on the plane, there must have been some email communication where she was in Paris at the same time and going to fly back. One or the other, I don't know.
Dude, now she's like tying that Eva Dubin to him.
The correct version of that. But so they were still obviously very close and remained throughout the entire fact. He saw her love. And so I also know now, which I didn't know at the time, was that he saw lots of other women.
Oh.
And I know that now because I can see it from the flight logs, and I know it now because I can see from the emails.
So you know from the case what happened?
Yes, I didn't know
that along the way.
Contemporaneously, I absolutely did not know.
Dude, she's saying, I didn't know anything. Bro, through the case, she discovered he had been with a lot of other women. Oh, shit, I never knew about that. Whoa.
Okay, so just, and we're going to spend time on everything you're talking about, but just to kind of close out big picture your relationship. So we're now in the late 90s. Continue on with, again, staying high level to the extent you can about your relationship with him.
So my responsibilities increased with each acquisition that he got and each new project. So I believe the first thing that he purchased after was the ranch in New Mexico.
Okay.
And so what he had tasked me with up until that, and I think that was purchased in 94, if I'm right. So he had tasked me, one of the things that we did was visit, in my mind I say every state, but it wouldn't have been every state, but many states, to go look at real estate and property. And so I know we went to Montana, I know we went to Utah, and I mean it was to go look at real estate. It was fun, to be honest. And then I arranged for us to go to New Mexico, and he just loved New Mexico. And then I don't remember how the ranch happened, I don't remember that now, it's lost. And then he ended up buying the ranch, and I think, if I'm right, it came from the kings who may have been the governor, and bought the ranch. And then I had to deal with that, and dealing with that was extensive. I mean, the way that I thought of myself, or the way that I think is the best way to explain how I view my role, was as a general manager, because each property to me was like a hotel. So the ranch.
So basically, she's setting herself up as to have been helping him buy real estate. That's her role that she's establishing. Now, the ranch she's talking about in New Mexico, that is the ranch where Annie Farmer, Maria Farmer's 16-year-old sister, was sexually abused by both Epstein and Ghislaine. Okay? Epstein had met Annie Farmer through Maria, and he was quite taken by her. He had promised to pay for her college. He said that that's what he does for young people to help them achieve their dreams. So they invited her to New Mexico for the weekend, and she believed there were going to be a whole bunch of other young girls there all the young girls that Jeffrey was paying to put through college. And when she got there, she was 16 years old. It was just Jeffrey and Ghislaine, and they sexually abused her. Okay, so this shit is pretty fucking wild, you know? Now, obviously, we got a long way to go with this, right? We're almost, I can only do a little bit more tonight. We're probably not getting into some of the greater stuff. This is going to be a multi-part series on this, but dude, this shit is crazy. Okay. This shit is like, I mean, I went into this like having the suspicion of a cover up. I mean, you heard me talk weeks ago when I told you that ultimately what I thought was going to happen was they were going to use Ghislaine to try and exonerate Donald Trump, which of course everybody today in right-wing media was doing. All right, that was their big thing, the big Trump exoneration. But now listening to this, I realize it is like so much more nefarious than just that, because they are exonerating Trump. They are trying to rewrite the historical role of Ghislaine. They are sort of establishing a situation where maybe Trump can pardon her and people could look at Ghislaine like she was this victim, wasn't even the head of the household like everyone said. I mean, there is a rat fucking here that is literally like Watergate level that is making me more and more suspicious of what the fuck is in those files, man. Like something like earth-shattering is in those files. You know what I mean? I mean, this is like a complete sane washing of the whole fucking event. You know what I mean? And there is something way like my internal alarm bells. You know what I'm saying? My internal alarm bells around this shit are all going off like extraordinarily loud. You know what I mean? And if we look at this, we have like, there are a lot of pieces to this. 24 minutes, 36 minutes. Like, dude, I may have to skip through the transcript and gut this because this is like 7 hours. You know what I mean? And so here's what I'm going to do, guys. We're going to go to the dance party right now because I'm going to go. I have enough to get this first thing under wraps, but I'm also going to have to invest a little time because I don't want to have you guys listen to all fucking 10 hours of this, but I'm going to have to pour through the transcript and pull audio and like set this up. So like, I feel like though this is a really good setup because we can see that this whole thing is bullshit. You know what I mean? You think we should listen to it all? I mean, we can. If you want, we can invest the hours. If you want to do the whole thing, it's just going to be several days, right? It's going to be like, it looks like we have we probably have like 2 hours on day 2. And it looks like we have about 5 hours on day 1. So it looks like about 7 hours total. But right now, dude, I have some Taco Bell on the way. I'm going to fucking pause it right here and we're going to hit the dance party. And I'm going to go make some video noise, boss. Although I will say this, I'm glad we fucking moved into some of this shit. Because dude, some of the Trump fascism is like, dude, that shit gets old, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Don't you, when I'm watching Trump's press conferences and I'm watching him talk and shit, it's like so gross, right? The like Trump's fascism, I feel like when I get that on me, it's just gross, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like covering that is so hard. I don't know how Rupar does it, dude. I don't know how Aaron Rupar watches all of his shit. It gets depressing. It does. Watching him talk makes me seriously consider getting off the planet, dude. Like, no joke. All right. All right. Let's go, baby. It's time to dance, though. I'm supposed to go to a wedding tomorrow. I think we're going to a wedding tomorrow. It's going to be like 100 degrees, dude. A wedding outside. It's going to be 100 degrees, bro. Dude, we are brave souls. Let's go. You ready? You ready for a little deja vu, baby? Let's fucking go. Oh, for now. We dance. Let's get it. Dude, I'm gonna go get some work done, guys. You guys have a good night or a good morning and catch your breath. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's go, baby. We gotta stay positive, bro. Today was one of those grindy days. I'm serious, dude. Today was a grindy day. I feel like today was like, I got a lot of Trump fascism on me today. I feel like I need to take a 2-day shower. Let's go! Dude, fuck that guy, Pine Box, motherfucker! I'll see you guys tomorrow! Thank you to everybody who fucking pitched in tonight. Appreciate you guys. Fucking love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Keep that shit real, baby. Good night.
I wanna come again. I wanna be so high. Can I